Hello and welcome everyone. Let me just check my microphone right there. Now it's looking good. So, topic for today will be the settings in Dental's Scan 3.3. So there are two possibilities how you can enter into the settings. That is, if you open the software and you are in the project definition, then you can click on this little button right here. Or when you are in this in this wizard, you can also open the settings from here. So normally we are starting with the scan parameters. You have to have a look at your plaster appearance. So if you're using models which are very bright and white, for example, then you should definitely choose the bright plaster appearance. And if you're having models which are very dark and brown or dark blue, then you should definitely select dark as the appearance. And that is very important because then we are using different kind of light when we're talking about the brightness of the light, and we make some adjustments to the sensor. So please have a look at the gypsum before you start the scanning. In addition to that, you can also make some adjustments for the quality settings for different kind of indications. You can start with a coarse and normal, high and very high. And for example, for a situation model, you don't need the best accuracy and quality of the scans. So you can then therefore select if you want to have normal quality or high or very high, for example. And this is adaptable for every kind of indication you have. Meaning also when the quality is at very high. First of all, you will have very, very good scan quality. And in addition to that, the scan files will also be bigger than when you scan it with normal quality. So that is what's going to happen if you select very high or high, for example. Down below, you see the possibility to select fill large holes. I would not recommend to use this. The strategies you are using, they are enough in order to generate good models, and there won't be any big holes. And if there would be any big ones, you can easily enter the rescan mode and capture a new scan. So, but you have the possibility, of course, to fill large holes. For those of you who are using the vinyl high resolution, you have the possibility to activate the HR scanning as default, which means that you are scanning with the highest resolution. But of course, you can also select during the scanning if you want to have high resolution or low resolution. So what else you can change? We can talk about the texture mode. You can have it as default disabled, monochrome and color, as you can change these within the normal workflow, but you can also set monochrome, for example, as default texture scan, and then you don't have to make adjustments if you want to start a scan. Now this little feature right here is for the Zilapart software. For partial framework in order to use a bit different technique to scan the pencil marks. So if you're using the software, here's a little feature you can activate. But in general, it's not the default version. So we also have the project right here. You can choose different default presentation modes when we are having a look at the workflow. In general, you can have the second die as default, single tooth and multi-die, but these are also adjustable during the workflow. So when you're scanning the upper jaw, You can also change this during the scan and use the multi-die adapter. And for the antagonist, you can choose single tooth or second die as well. So you're not limited if you select here second die, for example. Default project mode is the patient mode, but of course you can also use multi-case, universal, or orthodontics as a default. Start matching automatically. That means that after you scanned the upper jaw, for example, the scanning for the upper jaw will start immediately after the scanning, and only after the matching is finished you can continue with the scanning. So this is not activated. It makes more sense to match all layers in one step, or to activate matching during scanning if possible. If you are scanning large cases with a lot of scan tabs, it makes sense to have this activated in order to be a little bit faster with the post-processing of the scans. Of course, you also have the possibility to enter the rescan mode after the presentation, but since we have the shortcuts, you can easily enter the rescan modes by using the shortcuts. So there's, you can have it activated, but it's not necessary anymore to use this feature right here. So cutting filter. If I'm going to activate these, we have a cutting filter for the top and one for the bottom, and everything which is out of this range will be automatically cutted away. So if you're scanning similar models regarding the height, so the height inside the device, when you know that, you can activate this filter and you will have it done automatically, and you don't have to use the modify mesh features. The same thing is also with the cutting radius. You will have a radius, and everything which is not into this little circle will also automatically cut it away, and you can select also the values right here. Cut out multi-case, multi-die adapter automatically. I would definitely recommend to leave this activate, since you don't have to do it on your own. There are some general settings you can also change for the 2D viewer and the 3D viewer. For the 2D, you can show tooth numbers within the viewer. You can also select the brightness, standard, bright, or dark of the 2D viewer, and that's it. And for the 3D viewer, you can change object color, the color for the multi-die and multi-case, rescanned object color, which makes definitely sense, so that you can know what scan files or what was scanned during the rescan. We have a shadow color for the rescan as well, so you will see the areas which will not be captured. They will be available in the color you're going to choose right here. And therefore, we also have the setting show shadow and rescan mode, which is very helpful. So here you have some other settings you can play with. Smooth shading, reflection, brightness, and reflectivity. And this is only how the 3D model is displayed in the 3D viewer. So this has no impact on scan quality. It's only how you are going to see the model inside the 3D viewer. So don't be afraid if you select high smoothing, it has no impact on the quality. Some further features down below: toggle mouse buttons, display point cloud while moving objects. Some of you wanted to have this available, so you can select this feature, and during the movement you will see the point clouds. Show measurements at highest resolution is also clear, and you should always have this activated. And we already talked about the show shadow and rescan mode. So there are some more general settings. Enable standby mode. So if you're using the Exocut and starting the scanning from the Exocut, I would recommend to enable this setting. But if you are scanning from the dental scan, so as a standalone version, I would disable it because the software will close automatically. And if you have to select another patient in the dental scan, it makes more sense that the software is not going to be closed. Allow cutting of data from unmatched scans. You can leave it as it is. And move to tooth presentation position makes it a little bit easier to take the model out and to, for example, for the second die presentation, to insert new stumps inside the device. So a very useful feature right here. So the last selections you can make are for the work folder. This is the default path which the dental scan is using. So all scan files will be stored at that direction. But if you are scanning from Exocut, it will be stored at the Exocut work folder. Ask before clearing intermediate scan data that are the PCM files, which can be deleted after a time period. You can include the patient name and the project name in order to make it easier to find some special STL and PLY files. You can save the scans additionally also in STL file format. So the standard file format is PLY. But in fact, some CAD software are not able at the moment to use PLY files. So we want you to be able to use every kind of open software. So this feature makes it possible that you can also save the scans in STL format. In addition to that, we also have the possibility to scan the files with different and transformed coordinates. So if the CAD software is using a different coordinate system, you can select this feature and you can directly change the coordinate system itself, and then you don't have to realign them in the different CAD software. So this will be done completely automatic for you. Dental notations should be also clear. Languages is also self-explaining. Here down below we have also some support tools. Export fringe images for our support team, and they will be stored in the service folder in order to analyze the stripe light. And we also have some extended logging if needed, but you don't have to take care of these two settings. Okay, I'm going to cancel this. With this button down below, you see you can load a new project, you can generate a new project, save project as, and close the project. Here we have the possibility to start the calibration. We can add an activation code if you're having an older device or vinyl open air. You can of course add some features, and therefore you would just enter the activation code inside this little window right here. With this button you can clear all PCM files, and here you have information which software version you are using, which is also quite good to know. And if you enter this button, of course, you will get directly into the settings. So let me just load a project. I'm going to use this one right here to open the SOP file, continue and start. So now you see right here we have the modify mesh menu, where you can choose if you want to modify the mesh, to cut the surface, cut inwards, cut outwards, even after the scanning is already finished. You can now start a rescan and trigger the scan. You can add a correction scan, and you can fill holes again. And what's also important, you can delete the matching. And even after a time period, you can repeat the matching because we are saving the PCM files. With this button right here, you can add another scan. For example, if you forgot a situation model or whatever, you can just simply go into the project and add a scan. But we also have the possibility to combine a mesh and making one SDL file out of 2 models. That's also possible. Here you can see the different views we have from the model: front, back, left, right, top, and so on. Here is the possibility to change how the object is going to be displayed in the viewer. So we have points, triangles, and the shaded one right here. And with this feature, you can lock the position if you want to tilt it or to move it. You can either lock it or you can make it available to move in every direction. And last but not least, you always have the button here if you want to bring the scanner back to service position, so the axis back to service position. So that are basically all system settings you can change and edit. You can also have your own setting for one client, and if you have another customer, you can use different settings, because all these information are stored in a user XML. And so thank you very much for listening. The next webinar will be in about 3 weeks, and Tobias will be available for you together with Hyperdent, a CAM manufacturer. And we are having the webinars now, not weekly, but I can't say it exactly, but I think once in a month maybe. So stay tuned. We are going to give you some updates on Facebook, because we are now going to start some web shows for you where you can sign in, and we will give Exocad training and workflow training and whatever you want to have. And so thank you very much for listening, and leave your feedback in the comments, and we will see you in a few weeks. Goodbye.